and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Wednesday, November 27th. We begin with news out of Avon, where a former music teacher is now facing charges after police say he exchanged graphic sexual videos and photos with underage girls on social media. Online court records showed that Avon was arrested last week and released on bond Monday. Avon police say they obtained suggestive pictures and video he shared on 2 Snapchat accounts. Officers say one of the videos appears to show him pleasuring himself in a music classroom, though it's still unclear exactly where that video was taken. Payroll records show that MTS worked at 3 schools in the Avon district between 2019 and 2023. A Department of Education search shows he held a vocal and general music teaching license that expired this past August. News 8 has reached out to Avon schools for a statement, but we have not heard back. A 7th grade student has been arrested for making threats against Noblesville East Middle School. Those threats led to classes across the school district being canceled. Noblesville police say the FBI's Indianapolis office alerted them to the threat around 1:35 yesterday morning. The FBI says it was later able to identify a suspect, leading Noblesville police to execute an arrest warrant at the suspect's home. Police confirm the suspect is a Noblesville East student. That person has been taken to juvenile detention on a preliminary charge of intimidation. Students at Lebanon High School say their principal is verbally abusing both students and staff. We talked to the leader of the protests, who says they will continue demonstrations today. News 8's Danielle Zolkowski reports.
These students say it's not over. They plan to stage another protest Wednesday morning to once again call for the removal of Lebanon High School principal Frank Meyer.
What do we want? Change! What do we want now?
Gabriel Kellogg says he did not start the protest against his high school principal Frank Meyer, but ended up leading it on Monday.
Nothing was really working, so I just kind of took charge, and after that, everyone just started looking towards me for leadership.
Kellogg says this came after allegations of verbal abuse from Meyer surfaced, and a teacher was allegedly fired for confronting the principal about this.
We were there to protest the verbal abuse that got called out on our principal towards staff and students and the unjust firing of Miss Hyatt. He was very unprofessional, and he was commonly giving derogative comments towards students, like calling them piggy or they're too ugly to get dates to homecoming.
Kellogg wants to see real change. His idea, more input from the community and a final say vote when it comes to hiring those who lead schools.
School board, they do their interviews, but then they get their best candidates. Students and teachers and staff get to meet these candidates, and then we all get to have a vote on who we want as our principal.
The Lebanon School Corporation declined to comment directly on the protests, outside of sharing a letter to families and staff that encouraged students to sign up to have one-on-one conversations with their school counselors and administrators. Kellogg met with school leadership just moments before speaking with News 8.
That was to go over our demands and what we want, and get perspective and all that to see what they were doing. They had no comment at the time, though.
No word yet if students will face disciplinary action for participating in the protests. I'm Danielle Zolkowski for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
If you have been out on the roads this week, you may have noticed gas prices in central Indiana jumping by up to 60 cents a gallon just before the Thanksgiving holiday. An expert on oil prices says there is a common myth that gas stations raise prices just for holiday travel. But he explains this week's increase is actually due to a few other factors.
The wholesale price of gasoline took a pretty big jump because of maintenance issues that were happening at the BP refinery in Whiting, Indiana. That maintenance should have been finished, but BP was having issues with its largest crude units. They didn't increase prices last week. That was the surprise, is that on paper, I would have expected gas prices to have jumped up last Wednesday. For some reason, prices kept going down below cost over the weekend, and suddenly there was no more room.
He says gas prices should gradually start dropping over the weekend, and we could see them back below $3 a gallon once the refinery maintenance is finally wrapped up. Let's talk sports. Dozens of people at Wheeler Mission are walking away with full bellies and a fresh story to share, all thanks to a visit from the Indianapolis Colts. It was a special Community Tuesday for the players who spent the day serving meals at the Mission. Not only did they lend a helping hand, but they also made a generous cash donation and brought some cool giveaways for the crowd. We caught up with receiver Josh Downs, who shared why giving back means so much to him.
Being able to help somebody else that's in need is a big thing of mine. I feel like whenever I have some cash or whenever I have some clothes to give off my back or some maybe food or water, give to a homeless person that really needs it, I do that and I take pride in it because at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to make it by.
Wheeler Mission says it serves 700 to 900 people on any given day. When it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 says you can expect some scattered showers to move in ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Meteorologist Drew Narsutis has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
Most of the rain to snow mix that I might not be exact about is coming at bedtime. You might not even notice the little mix of snow in there. It's mainly a rain event, and it's looking a lot better for, the essential Thanksgiving moments than it did over the weekend. So let's take a look at our forecast where as we move into the essential build up towards Thanksgiving, of course, not the best looking day out there over the Morse Reservoir. Cloudy, a little breezy outside. Winds out of the south-southeast are able to help us warm up at least to about 42. Should see a few more degrees tacked onto that later this afternoon. And we're also going to be tacking on those showers, which are now becoming more and more of a thing out near Terre Haute, Bloomington. Light rainfall at the moment, but it will get heavier as the afternoon moves on and as that wave of showers moves further north. I think the heaviest of the rains are going to be in between Kokomo, Indianapolis, if I had to bet. So as we can see, there's no bet needed to be placed. At least it's not an incredibly cold day out there for us today in the mid 40s or the low 40s, I should say, and that's likely about where we'll stay for the rest of the day. What we won't stay like is just plain a little cloudy. You already saw those showers moving in, and even in the overnight hours, we could see a little bit of snow mix into the forecast right around bedtime, if not after bedtime, with a decorative flake trying to sneak in on Thanksgiving itself, but it's unlikely that Thanksgiving has very much snow at all. So we'll talk more about where you might sneak in a flake or two for your Thanksgiving afternoon, as well as the Arctic blast coming our way as we move into the weekend and much of next week as well.
To get a peek at Drew's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com. And don't forget, conditions will change throughout the day. To make sure you have the most up-to-date forecast, download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And for a more detailed look at conditions, you can check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Wednesday, November 27th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.